Archie, open your mind.
Deep.
Very, very, very
deep
body of work.
Deep.
It was just so transparent, so authentic. Opening lines, just painted a picture from the start. You mentioned you introduced Caleb, and then 1 week earlier, we was fighting like we caged up.
Yeah.
Take us into that world.
That's the main piece.
Yeah. Yeah. So transparency is really what's most important to know, because I was going through parenting. Transparency. And the hook itself, open your mind, was, you do a lot of things with your kids in order to introduce them to new things or to whatever, whether it's painting, whether it's singing, whether it's dancing. And everybody knows in my family I can't sing. So, I can't sing it to you. And right now at this hook, this is the time where I should be singing, but my pain is so great that I'm just going to invite you to open your mind.
Bring it to you.
And it'll come to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, no, I didn't do 12 years in the Bing, but bro, I did 12 years in a marriage where it felt like I'm just like in a straitjacket because, my dad left my mother. You see what I'm saying?
I remember that too.
And so, I didn't know how to keep my feet still and not walk away from my wife when in the first week of us moving into the house that I pulled all her stuff out of storage and saw her ex-husband's stuff, knowing that that's my baby girl's father.
How did you feel?
How did I feel? I cried. I cried because I'm like, here's a storage unit of my loved ones that I newly love, and this is from my newlywed, and now I'm looking at her past and knowing that her beginning with me is the end to her old. Cried, man, because now here I am. Now I gotta cover not her faults, but now I have to cover and help her discover who I really am. So in that first week, you know what I'm saying?
Work.
Yeah, it was work. And the funny thing about work, I quit my job because I'm like, I'm here for y'all 100%. I can't be for this corporate gig what they need me to be. I gotta be here for you 100%. And they didn't understand that meant me choosing to be an entrepreneur.
I come first.
And she knew nothing about entrepreneurship, knew nothing about business and what it meant to go out there and get it out the mud. And I was willing to do that because I knew I was going to have to do it anyway while I was working corporate, but she hadn't seen that side of me. So I came in and I'm like, hey, when I asked you to do this, this, and this, and this, you ain't doing it. But I ain't just say it like that. I said it and I slammed the dishwasher. She opened that joint back up, reversed what I did, and I was like, excuse me? And I don't know who threw the first dish, but the joint flew, and it was like, yo, we just got that for our wedding. The dish is broke. It's like, what? It's like, for real? I think I turned away and walked away. I don't know what happened. All I know is her hands was on me. And I'm like, yo, chill out. Let me tell you something. I don't like to be hit. I'm like, I don't do that. Like, I do yelling, I do all those other things, but you don't put your hands on me, young lady. So she told my baby girl, call the police. Call the police. Tell them that your dad is hitting me. And she's coaching her baby girl on what to say, and I'm just like, what? What lie you believe in? I'm stopping you from hitting me, and now you telling the baby to call the police? And the baby's doing exactly what mama is telling her. So the police come. I watched the OJ trial. I watched it with my own eyes. And I knew that somebody has to leave. Because what OJ did, this is changing the whole precedence. You can't have a black man putting his hand on a woman and somebody not go down. So I was like, I'm supposed to go down tonight. So I'm like, officer, my wife is pregnant, fam. I just found out. Don't take her. They're like, nah. She called and said it was you. I was like, look at my back. If it was me putting my hands on her, where are the marks? And when they saw my back, they was like, whoa. She got to come with us. No. I pay for this house. I pay for this apartment. I'll leave. Don't take her. That was the first week of my marriage.
Wow. That's tough money.
That was the first week.
That's
Money.
tough money.
You know what I'm saying?
How long have you been married?
I've been married for 11 years. I'm going on 12.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Back to them
And
12 years.
since the first week,
Yeah, for this
I
first
has
week.
it been since the first week. Like, looking back now, like I'm just saying, like overall, like looking back
Yeah.
now, like everything.
Well, bro, here's the
Life
thing,
is-
man.
is-
I don't
is-
look
is-
back.
That's peace.
I don't look back. And I don't necessarily look forward either. I'm like you.
Yeah,
That introspect. Yo, give me the mirror. I want to see.
yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? And where I was and where I am now,
I was just
got a
Not
master
to-
in love, man.
not to, but just wondering, I have yet to be married. You know what I mean? And I feel like marriage is a beautiful thing. It's a union. But just wondering, if that happened in the first week and you still been here 12 years now, like I know it got to, I can imagine. Some lined up, some got right. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely, you know what I'm saying? But it
pretty sure
wasn't.
there's been some great moments.
Yeah, I mean, like the worst day after that was November 15, 2015, where the same thing happened. This time I had 2 sons in the house.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? And it was a repeat of the same situation. And when it happened, I was like, this is about to happen again.
Yeah.
Because I didn't deal with it.
Yeah.
I didn't deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I wanted to touch on something, to kind of take us somewhere else. 6:30, what is it, 83?
Mm-hmm.
And 6:30, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
You had a son.
Yeah.
On the same day.
Yeah.
That you were born. Years
Right.
later.
Crazy.
Right.
Wow.
And
Crazy.
and you also had a line where you talked about dad chose to leave.
Yeah.
What was the pressure? What was the pressure of because this is your first son, right? This
Right.
is your first child, right?
Yeah.
And so there had to be some type of pressure with the fact of your father wasn't there. You're about to become a father for the first time.
Right.
Tell me about that pressure.
Um.
If there was any.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I would be lying if I said it wasn't. But this week particularly, I realized that I idolized my dad. I didn't know that, and it was hard for me to understand the whys of my life until I recognized that. Wow. My dad was the guy who came in town, and like everybody bowed at his feet. But we know what you did, and we know what you said, but you still had to give him his respect, because like my teachers knew that my dad was coming home before my mom knew that he was coming. People up the block, up the street knew, son, he's coming. And he took care of everybody and everything. So yeah, I was my father's first son in his first marriage, but I wasn't my father's first child.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that. So being his namesake, I always hated my name. I never wanted to deal with him overshadowing me, knowing that there was dark shadows, and then there was just a lot of big shoes to fill out there in Norfolk. And so my birthday, 6/30/83, my mother, she gave me a lot of understanding of her upbringing, her marriage with my father. And my wife told me a couple months before we got married that she couldn't have kids. And I laughed at her when she said it, because I was promised by the Most High that I would have children, my own natural children. And when she said it, I remembered the prophecy that was given to me, that you will have your own natural children. So when she said she couldn't have children, I was like, okay, this is funny. She was like, why are you laughing? I was just saying, don't worry about it. And so a couple months, because we got married within 5 months of us deciding that this is what we would do. And she went to the doctor shortly after we were married, and of course shortly after this first incident with the cops and everything at the house. And she was having some complications and didn't know what was going on. She was pregnant, and the doctor said to her, based on the weight of the fetus and everything, this child will be born on 6/30, June 30th. And I laughed again, because I'm just like, this doc don't know what he's talking about. He doesn't even realize that he just said my birthday. When my son, the labor was induced on the 29th. So not only was the doctor's math right on time, my wife was in labor for 10 hours. And the baby would not drop. He would not come down. They gave her Pitocin, everything that was medically supposed to induce this labor and have this child come. He would not come.
How were you feeling at the time?
At the time, I was really wrestling with the Most High, because I'm like, it was already spoken. It was already said. And I'm thinking, well, what do I name this child? You know, we had a name picked out, but when they cut off the machines and said, look, you know, we got to move back and we got to let her be, let her body rest. We can't cause him to be born naturally on this day. So we're going to have to wait. And I knew the next day was going to be my birthday. So I'm like, this is going to be a sacrifice. You know, now my life means something, and it has to mean something to me. And not only that, his life is going to mean so much more. Not just because it's my birthday, but because all the adversary, all these adversities with his mother, with these docs trying to pull him out, and he's lining himself up, and he's never even taken a step. Like nothing. He's literally fighting. And I had to give him my name, because I'm like, yo, that's me again. I gotta name this kid my name, but he's gonna have a little different destiny than I will. So I gave him an extra middle name, and that's what we call him. We call him Caleb. And I say introduce him Mr. Caleb, because he kicked in and really gave me that new life and that new energy to face what I had always known, was that I'm a fatherless child. But now I'm a fatherless father, so I still got a father.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that, you know, that's that father connection.
Yeah.
You know, it's just full circle. You know,
Absolutely.
like you start without a dad, and then at the end, not only do you get your dad back, but you also become a dad.
Yeah.
That's
and, and really, it makes me think about D-State, because fatherhood, you know, I'm not a father yet, but I know I will be soon. You know, I will be. And I have a good relationship with my father, you know, and I always think about, you know, what if he's gone, you know, and it makes me think about the line that you spit about, you know, I wonder if my dad be here if he ain't open that door and dive. You know, D-State, you know, just tell us a little bit about, you know, that moment, you know, what that was like, because it sounds near death, you know.
No, it was like, well, first, before I go into that, with his situation is crazy. It's parallel, bro, because my son, I was born September 27th. My son was born September 24th, and he's the third. So everything you saying, I could relate to that shit verbatim. Yeah. Like, his due date was September the 20th, but if she ran over, they was going to induce her September 27th, which is my birthday. But he ended up being born September 24th. So just to put that out there, like, I can relate to everything you fucking saying, bro. Crazy as hell. But back to that, like, my pops, goddamn, he had just dropped my little sister off at her mom's crib, and he was going home right off of Colonial. He was riding, and he went through the light. Another car ran a light, hit his car. He tried to stop, but whatever happened, when the car hit him, the brakes was at a point where it wouldn't stop. The car kept moving. He was hitting the brake, trying to stop that bitch, and it kept going. So he had to jump out the car. He literally had to jump out the car, and the car basically ghost rolled itself, smacked the light pole, knocked the power off the whole block. The shit was on the news and everything. Car total, all that shit. Like, I was at work. I got a call from my little cousin, Charles. called me like, bro, I was asleep on my break. Woke up, had about 3-4 missed calls, called and he say, Pop's in the hospital, yo. Come on, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Pop's in the hospital. You got come up here. Left work, went up there, and you know what I'm saying? He told me the story. He hopped out the car, whole side, his whole side was skin. Like his whole side was skin, bro. Like I literally witnessed this, like, know what I'm saying? So that's what the lines came from, just that. And if my and then he told me, so where the lines came from, him telling me if my little sister was in the car, if he didn't go drop her off and she was still back there, he said he would have stayed in the car with her. He would have just rolled the car with her. And then it's like, damn, what the fuck would have happened if she was in the car with him? Know what I'm saying? Luckily, he dropped her off at her mama, and he was able to jump out the car and fuck. We don't care about the material shit. We let that go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was.
How did you feel? Like, you know, just waking up, like you at work, you getting your money. Like, how did you feel? Like, what was your first thought? Like
shit like that, you know, you really can't fathom it. It's not even like in the moment. You know, you go with it. And the way my family work, when we go through trauma and shit like that, in the moment, we don't really like dwell on it. We just get through it. And then later on, we might come back and talk about it, but we keep going. So that's the crazy part about it. And I think a lot of us deal with our situations like that. We just keep going. We don't never sit back and, you know, we talk about how we need to go through therapy and this. That's why this shit is important for us to sit here and congregate like this, because we don't do it. You know what I'm saying? We don't really talk about what the fuck we really going through. So we really kept going, bro. We kept going. We talked about it here and there, whatever. But yeah, we kept moving, man. Period.
Nah, cause I wanted to come back to you.
I wanted to say something in accordance to what he was saying, but I ain't want to intervene too.
Talk to me.
But it's wild. Like you telling your story, him telling his story, then you speaking and you directly relating to his story. And now you speaking and you're speaking about something that I can relate to. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, you know what I mean? Like, and it's wild because you was at work. I was incarcerated. You know what I mean? But I get mail saying, yo, your mom, your brother was in a car accident. Car flipped over 3-4 times and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you was in a position to be able to go shoot up there and see what's going on. I was in a position where I couldn't. You know what I mean? And if it ain't no money on the phone or can't nobody give you no three-way, you can't even call to see what's going on. But I spoke on that more so to say, man, timeless music, man, telling y'all my life in songs stem from, you know, basically the fact that we all are connected and we all share the same experiences, which is the reason why the music is timeless, which is the reason why we can listen to music from the 50s and 60s right now in 2021 and still relate and still gravitate towards it, because exactly what they was going through at that time is still going on at a different time.
Right. Different
places in your life, different people get affected different ways, but we all share that, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, that's what the whole thing is about. And it was just amazing. Like, he was like, yo, I can directly relate to that. Then you speaking, I'm like, well, that's crazy. I can directly relate to that. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to build on that right there.
Yeah.
I wanna touch on family a bit, you know, because, you know, all of our conversation has really diverted us back to family. And, you know, as we can see, there's different levels to family. Delano, in Born Day, you said something about when I lost my brother that year. Now, fortunately, D-State, you didn't lose your father, you know. But we have a situation where you lost your brother, and because you not because you lost your brother, but the next line you go on to say, you and I can't remember who, but y'all started going hard on the block. You know, so you know, I'm picturing somebody that's on the verge of really like losing it. Tell me a little bit about after you I don't want you to get too caught up in like when you lost your brother. More so like your life after you lost your brother.
Okay, so to make it brief, actually, the line that come after that bar, when I lost my brother that year, that's when I think I cried my last tear. Me and my stick man. I actually was talking about, I was just, like I told you, I was just venting. So, me and my stick man pitch grams actually happened prior to me losing my brother.
Okay.
I was incarcerated when I lost my brother. You know what I'm saying? I was actually doing time, you know what I mean? Going through that situation.
The art of music.
But how my life changed with the loss of my brother, man, and not to mention like, yo, I lost a lot of people, you know what I mean, throughout my incarceration. It won't just my brother.
Yeah, 12
you know what I'm
years,
saying?
that's a long time.
Yeah, man, I lost some real close ones, you know what I'm saying? But man, you know, man, for real, man. I'm kind of, I go back to that moment and then I look at how the course of events that has taken place since then, and it's wild because within me losing my brother was one of those, the way that he died, he was one of those people that you don't believe that's gonna happen to that type of person, that guy, because who he was in the community, who he was and what he meant to, you understand what I'm saying? And it's like that in that moment and the course of events that has taken place, like I got estranged relationships with family members that's all I knew. You understand what I'm saying? So it was kind of like the first moment of the very thing that you think won't happen will happen. The very person that you think will be there probably won't. For whatever reason.
That's crazy.
So your reality was beginning to be shaped for what it really is.
You see what I'm saying?
You started to transition from fantasy to reality. Really.
Sure
Shit
indeed.
that you
Even
can't
though
control.
you
You
was
can't even
incarcerated
control. You
and
can't
that was the
control that.
reality.
Yeah.
But even, I mean, it's people that's repetitive, offenders. And so it's like a fantasy, like I just keep getting locked up, keep getting locked up, keep getting locked up. But then if you lose somebody that you kind of emotionally or physically depended on in life, in the course of you going back and forth, then you start to kind of like, I don't need to be here because if I lose somebody else in the midst of this, I wouldn't be able to function in this fantasy.
There were times, man. It was times where I ain't want to live no more. You know what I'm saying? It was times where, hey, bro, that situation was super duper real. You know what I'm saying? It's still real right now. You know what I mean? But like I told you, you know what I'm saying? It was in that moment. You know what I mean? Y'all excuse me. I mean, like I get a little emotional when I think about that. But it was in that moment, man. You know what I'm saying? Where, like I told you, things was taking place that I never ever thought. Like, yo, the day I get this information, I'm cooling. Like, I'm having a great day. Considering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you made it that.
And I'm getting, they didn't install the kiosks inside the prison systems now, so the physical mail thing is kind of obsolete. So now we got these little players we download our little mail on or whatever the case may be, but I'm getting all these mails and it's like, yo, sorry for your loss. At the time, I don't know who is who or what's what. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And to get that information, I'm still not thinking it's who it is because you gotta understand, like, the person that I'm losing he was the protector. He was the one that made sure everybody else was okay. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't think that you're gonna lose him. You know what I'm saying? And then to go through my cousin, my grandma, everybody, and then not even that, like I say, I got relationships with people that we estranged, we don't rock, that I never thought I would be in that place. You know what I'm saying? With these people. Things was taking place, things have been taking, so it's like, wow, like And like you say, you start to deal with that reality. You feel what I'm saying? You start to see that, life may not be exactly how you picture it or what you may want or whatever the case may be. You got to take it how it come, man.
Yeah.
Pick up the pieces and keep it moving. You feel what I'm saying?
That's fucking real.
I mean,
you said you was the firstborn. How many siblings you have?
So my mom, I'm the first of my mom. I got 2 other siblings. I got 2 other siblings with my mom. You know what I mean? And I got 3 other siblings by my father. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because all of us around about the same age, so Pops was a little busy. You know what I mean?
He was real busy.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
So bless Pops. Man.
Yeah,
God
man.
bless Pops.
Shout out to my brothers and my sisters, man. You know what I mean? Big love, man. You know, my support system, man.
For sure, man.
Rocks, man.
Newsflash, blacks still killing blacks, nigga, newsflash. Cops still killing blacks, nigga, newsflash. The dollar down like these niggas on the news, man. Niggas quick to say what's up with nothing new, man. What's up?
Shit, same old. What's good with you?
Not much. Newsflash.